Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Serious Cinema from Unserious Men. I'm your host, Gabe Bradham, and with me today is known criminal, the Vulture. It's like the penguin, but he's a vulture. Now, Tucker, I was gonna say the buzzard, but I felt like that would be mean. Do you agree with the Vulture, or is there another avian criminal name you want? The
I
Crow.
like
Oh, no, not so much.
no. I like the vulture.
Yeah, the Vulture, but you gotta say
Could
it
I be
like
the
that.
eagle?
The Eagle. I like it.
Hmm.
What about the Hummingbird?
Ooh, I like that one.
But that also kind of sounds like a strip club. Come
I'm
on
good.
down to the Hummingbird. We
I like
got
to be
discounts.
I like to be confused with the strip club.
Oh, oh, okay. Huh. All right. Well, Tucker, we're gonna have a lot of fun today. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. We're gonna break down some recent things that have been released: The Penguin, The Old Man, Wolf's Transformers one. But before we do, Tucker, I've got two things that I want to do before we get to some movie news. First off, this show is really the only place in history that respects Arnold Schwarzenegger's work as Mr. Freeze in Batman and Robin. So, because this episode is going out live on YouTube, we can do this reaction. People can see what we're talking about. Tucker, I just sent you a picture of the drippiest outfit known to mankind, worn by Arnold Schwarzenegger in this movie. I'm going to need a fashion breakdown from you. Paint us a
Okay,
word picture.
Arnold is in Mr. Freeze costume and makeup. He is wearing what appears to be like a satin Mr. Freeze themed Japanese kimono
Mm-hmm. Yes.
with polar bear slippers,
Mm-hmm.
and he's sitting on a throne of ice, kind of posing like this.
Is he holding a cigar or is he I can't tell. I think that's a cigar in his hand.
He might be holding a cigar. Not sure how that works for Mr.
Yeah,
Freeze.
no, would that not lead to throat melting?
Yeah,
Hmm.
but
The
hey,
polar bear slippers are incredible. He
yeah,
wakes up in the morning, he goes,
that's good.
Snow troopers, bring me my polar bear slippers.
Ah, 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 ah.
Do you think when he was serving of governor of California, your home state, when you were growing up, Arnold was your governor? Do you think he woke up in the morning, he's
No,
like,
Gabe, he wasn't my governor.
he wasn't your governor?
He was the governor.
The governor. Do you think
Ah,
the
ah,
governor
ah.
was making policy decisions about your state in those polar bear slippers?
Yes, I do.
President Bush, we need to drop inflation. Also, I'm wearing polar bear slippers. And President Bush was going, all right, now watch this drive. And he's just golfing.
That was a good George Bush.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right,
Yeah.
Tucker, here's the other thing. On Twitter, I saw something egregious that must be addressed. People saying Power Rangers is not good, which just first off, you're sick in the head. If you don't think people are like Power Rangers, overrated as
Go,
hell,
go,
always has been.
Power Rangers. Go,
Exactly.
go, Power Rangers.
So, Tucker, we're going to do a quick mini draft, three picks each, and we're going to
Okay.
draft Power Rangers colors.
Okay.
I will give you the first pick. What are you taking? This is
Red.
important.
Red.
That's just wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. The Red Ranger is not the best Ranger.
Sorry.
Red Ranger, great. He's the rule follower. Sometimes he has anger issues. The Red Ranger, there's always like a mini story thing. Like his dad was killed by monsters, or his mom was like sealed away in something. He's like, I gotta find my mom. But also Megazord. And I was always like, yeah. It's the Green Ranger. The Green Ranger is the best Ranger. The
Okay.
Green Ranger, Jason David Frank, and he was Tommy, and he's green, but then he turns white, not like Michael Jackson style, but like Tommy the Green Ranger style. The Green Ranger is the best Ranger. Tucker, make your second pick.
Pink.
Oh, damn it. I've had a crush on the Pink Ranger from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers my entire life.
It was a formative moment for
She,
everybody.
that's a beautiful woman. Kimberly Ann Scott, I would like to say, I'd like to marry you. So if you're free, I'll have my people talk to your people. Little wedding. Do I have much to offer? No. Um, that's it. That's all I got. Pink Ranger, gorgeous. I remember people never wanting to be the Pink Ranger, which is like just dumb to me. Pink Ranger, awesome. All right, at number two, I'll take the Black Ranger, which in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was played by a black guy. Tucker, is that problematic? Speak on that.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, it wasn't good that the theme song had him breakdancing. That's just I don't know. His Zord was a mammoth. Tucker, can you explain what Zords are for people who don't know? for the Argentinian audience that we have.
They're I don't even know how to describe them. Like we were being brainwashed as youths
Oh
into
yeah,
I you, like I don't even know.
they were like mini animal robots
Yeah.
that could then transform, and then all the pieces would click together to make a giant robot. And then, if brainwashes so much, Transformers 2 had a Megazord in it. And I remember audibly going, yeah, in the movie theater in 2011, whenever it was. When Revenge of the Fallen had the construction worker Megazord, I lost my mind. All right, Tucker, your last pick.
So you have green
And black, yes.
and black. And I have red and pink.
Hmm.
I'll take white.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the White Ranger. You don't always get a White Ranger, you know?
No.
Also, it's like White Rangers. People tend to think of things that are not Power Rangers. They think of the villains of that one Matthew McConaughey court movie, A Time to Kill, where Keith Sutherland plays a member of the Klan. That's not good. You shouldn't be a member of the Klan. The White Ranger, cool. Yeah, White Rangers, a baseball team in Texas. Not doing so hot right now. I think for me, Tucker, I'll take the Gold Ranger with my last pick. The Gold
Yeah.
Ranger, they didn't show up until the middle of the season. They always cooked every time. There was a samurai version of Power Rangers, I think called Power Ranger Samurai.
Hmm.
And when he showed up, he like unsheathed his sword, then like you couldn't see him, and then all the villains turned out at the same time, and then they all started exploding because he slashed him so quick you didn't see him moving. I was 9 years old when that happened. That's formative. Okay, cool. Power Rangers, cool. If you don't think they're cool, you're probably not a very fun person, or maybe you're like 55 and you shouldn't be speaking on this stuff. But if you were born from 1993 to 2011, Power Rangers rocked
I
incredibly
would even
hard.
go I would even go like 2006. I feel like they kind of phased out.
In 2006, it was Power Rangers Mystic Force, which was a season I wasn't allowed to watch because I grew up in a hyper Christian household. And they're
Mm,
like, that's witches and wizards. You can't watch that. Instead,
mm.
watch Passion of the Christ Boy. Watch Jesus be nailed to a cross. Watch the blood drip out of him. This is your fault. So yeah, I'm fucked up, but that's just where it is. Okay, Tucker, movie news. Some interesting things happening in the world of movies. Star Wars, The New Jedi Order, a movie that has been announced for 4 years. On this show, 2 years ago, we said this movie is not coming out. Now it is officially on hold at LucasArts.
We
Tucker,
did it
is this
again,
movie
dude.
ever happening?
No, we did it again.
No. Sometimes we jinx things, we manifest, we speak things into existence. I did say that about Agatha all along, though. I was like, there's no chance this ever comes out. This is and it has, and Catherine Hahn was nude, which was something that took over Twitter. Star Wars New Jedi Order.
It's
Why?
not coming out.
To let it be. What is going on with Star
Was
Wars,
this
Tucker?
was this the Ray Skywalker movie?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's never coming out.
No, it's
They
never
they
coming out.
know, they know, they know it's just not worth the hassle of making that.
It's the same thing as the Taika Waititi one that he was writing and the
Yeah.
Patty Jenkins Rogue Squadron movie. They
That one
just
is a bummer. That one is a bummer because I think the concept for that was cool. And if it was like, all right, we're gonna have a movie that's just space battles for Star Wars, like Fly Boys, but Star Wars, very cool concept. Just I don't think like imagine if they got one of the good Star Wars director, like imagine a Rogue One
yeah,
where it's
Gareth
just
Edwards.
space battles.
I'm
It's
down.
just battles.
I'm Tucker. I was an early investor in that Star Wars Starfighters game in 2017. Okay.
That
I'm not
game,
against the idea. That game was frustrating.
Star
That
Wars
game was
Squadrons,
Yes, that game was made for VR, and they were all just like, but we're
that
also
was
going to release it for those of you who aren't, and it was extremely disorienting.
it was it was a really cool concept, really poorly executed on
It kind of
from
felt
an
like it was
EA
supposed to be
standpoint.
exactly. It kind of felt like it was supposed to be like a Chuck E. Cheese ride, like a motion simulator thing,
Yeah,
or like a 4DX proof of concept, and it didn't work. Um, this movie isn't happening, guys. It's just
That's
It's
not.
not. Just get used to it. All right,
Yeah.
next. Tucker, I know what's winning Best Picture in 2026. Paul Thomas Anderson has never won it. He's won some awards for There Will Be Blood. I don't know if he should have won. No Country for Old Men, we love. There Will Be Blood is also incredible. The Battle of Bacton Cross is complete. This is an action movie directed by Paul Thomas Anderson. It's an adaptation of Thomas Pynchon's Vineland, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Regina Hall. Sean Penn is apparently the villain. We're cooking. We're cooking right here.
Sounds
DiCaprio
sounds quite good.
PTA. People are saying it is the most action movie DiCaprio has ever done, with some of the biggest stunts DiCaprio has ever done, and it has a $170 million budget. PTA's most expensive movie, 75 million.
Whoa.
I'm so intrigued. Also,
That's loud.
shot on 35 millimeter VistaVision.
Whoa.
So the snooting people are gonna love it as well.
Yes.
Give me a hype check here, Tucker.
I'm hyped.
Yeah.
Everything you just said has me hyped.
Yeah, this seems great. This last piece of movie news, I don't know if you'll be hyped. This also just might never happen. Ridley Scott has said Gladiator 3 is, quote, in the works. When
No.
asked about it, Paul Mescal said, that's the first I'm hearing about it. That's not an exact quote. I'll read you the exact quote he said while you share your thoughts.
Okay. That's one that I think we could all live without. I think we're gonna be okay without it.
So let me read you some quotes here. Ridley said, no, seriously, I lit the fuse. The ending of Gladiator 2 is reminiscent of The Godfather, with Michael Corleone ending up with a job he didn't want and wondering, what now, father? What do I
So he
do?
spoiled the ending.
Maybe, I don't know. So the next movie will be about a man who doesn't want to be where he is. Paul Mescal says, yes, Ridley told me about it, but only yesterday. So I'm waiting to see what will happen, but I'm interested. Some thoughts here. Just a lot
All
to
right, so
unpack
we know
here.
how the movie's gonna end.
Maybe, I don't know.
I'm
Also,
gonna. Would you like me to tell you how the movie's gonna end?
is this Ridley Scott saying Paul Mescal is going to become Emperor of Rome?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that I'm down.
Gonna,
I'm incredibly down for that.
I think what's gonna happen. I'm gonna tell you exactly what's gonna happen. There, there's gonna be the last act. He and Pedro Pascal are gonna have to team up to because Denzel is gonna lead a revolution
Oh, I'm so down with that.
to kill the
I'm
twins
so
and take
down.
over for himself, and they're gonna realize, oh, he's kind of a bad guy.
Oh,
They're
Tucker,
gonna
I
have to
cannot.
go. They're gonna have to go kill Denzel together as Rome is burning, as his armies take it over.
Yes,
Gonna
Tucker,
end.
that's executed well. That's
It's
going
gonna
to be
end with a
incredible.
climactic duel
Oh, you know I love a
where
duel.
Pedro Pascal dies. Mezcal is able to kill Denzel and is left running a burn down Rome.
Tucker, you need to know that's going to be the movie of the year for me if that happens.
No, I know, but it's gonna happen.
I'm so. Is it going to
But
be a
that's
Northman
annoying.
style ending?
That's annoying that I now know that's what's gonna happen because
Well,
Ridley said
to
that.
be fair, I wasn't trying to spoil anything for you.
No, no, you're not. It's not your fault. It's his fault because I would have read it at some point anyway.
So here's the thing, Tucker, little movie news quiz. We
Can
talked
we
about this
can
about
we
three.
earmark this episode and come back
Absolutely, we can. We
when that
100% can.
happens? Okay.
Movie news quiz for you. Ridley Scott's next movie is about to shoot early next year in January. What
Okay.
is it? We've talked about it on this show.
Isn't
It is
it?
a biopic about a music group.
He's not doing the Beatles. That's
Not the
Sam Mendes.
Beatles. You've got the first two letters.
The B.
Uh-huh. Keep going. Keep going.
The
Well, you
B.
can tell by the way I use my walk. I'm a woman's man.
Oh, the
No
the
time to talk.
the Bee Gees.
Yeah, the Bee Gees.
Right.
So that movie is actually happening. I'm down. You know I love the Bee Gees, Tucker.
Yeah, I do too. I'm worried that that's going to be House of Gucci too.
Yeah, maybe. Although I'm gonna say more than a woman comes on, the pelvis just starts thrusting. Now that's really the only dance move I have. But I'm a rhythm machine, in the words of Janet Jackson. Miss Jackson, if you nasty. Um, Gladiator 3, I'm not gonna say no to more Gladiator, um, but I don't like his comparison of being like Godfather. Do you remember
Yeah,
that Godfather
that
3
feels
isn't
thin.
good? Godfather 3 is a bad movie. So gotta know that. Also, my cat's in here now, Tucker, so you might randomly hear meowing, or a cat might climb on my shoulder like a parrot. She's desperate and needy for attention. So, or maybe she thinks you're really handsome, just wants to spend time with you. Don't know. All right, Tucker, we've got lots of movies to talk about. Let's start with Wolves. Tucker, give us a quick plot summary for Wolves. I will say, we won't spoil it because Wolves is only coming to select theaters. It came to theaters near Tucker and I. However, it's coming to Apple TV Plus on November or September 27th. Tucker, before you give the plot synopsis really quick, do you need to see this movie in theaters? Is it better seeing it in theaters?
No, you
Okay,
don't.
give us the plot synopsis.
Wolves is a I would describe it as an action comedy. It's basically a buddy cop film, um, starring Brad Pitt and George Clooney. Um, they are nameless fixers, um, who are called in to do the same job to clean up a woman's accidental murder, which turns out to not be a murder. So that's a whole thing. It's a film that's honestly, I did really appreciate the simplicity of the plot. Like it doesn't try to it's like it felt like a 90s movie. It doesn't do anything crazy with the plot.
No.
There's not really that crazy twist you're expecting, which I think is was nice. Sorry, Gabe, I'm distracted because there's a commercial for the new trailer that's been released for the upcoming film Red One.
Yes, yes. That is a movie where Dwayne the Rock Johnson and Chris Evans need to save Santa Claus, voiced by the Yellow M&M himself, J.K. Simmons. What's so funny is the guy who voiced the Yellow M&M is the most talented of those three. And then second is Nick Kroll, who's playing a talking polar bear in that movie. So that's funny. Um,
Oh,
yeah.
oh,
Yeah, during the Cleveland Browns game today, I saw Brownie the Elf, and I went, "Oh my gosh, Nick Kroll's character in Red One." Then no, I realized he's playing the polar bear, which is less cool. Although that does make me think of Arnold Schwarzenegger's drippy slippers, and I would say Mr. Freeze, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger in Batman and Robin, is a better performance than anything Dwayne The Rock Johnson has ever given in his entire career, except for when he was wrestling, in which case he is a god. Okay, yes, Tucker, you're right. Wolves is simple, effective. Hey, Tucker, you know I can cut a promo, okay? Give me the stick and I'll go crazy. Don't let me
so
go off on these hoes, buddy.
I,
I'm
I
the
was
Kendrick Lamar of the pod game.
I was distracted by Red One and Gabe just ran with it. Um, I think no, it's a very simple plot. You know, they get into lots of shenanigans as they're escorting the murder victim around. Um, so that was cool. Very solid cast.
Yeah,
Obviously it's carried by like this movie would stink if it didn't have
it
its
wouldn't be made if not for these
no,
two men
no,
who totally didn't write the screenplay.
yeah, no, they very much did. Um, it's it's fun. Like it's as Gabe described, very much Bullet Train-esque.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I
I
think I
will
described
say
that off mic last week. So for people who don't know,
yes.
Tucker was like, "Should I see Wolves?" And I was like, "Is it an incredible movie? No. Is it fun? Yes. And was this movie made for a
The
time when you
bullet,
were being transported on something? Yes, it
yeah,
is. A
yeah,
train, a Greyhound bus. Oh, this on a Greyhound bus? There's like an old man behind you taking three seats, smoking weed directly in your face. And he's like, "Hey man, you got $5?" And you're like, "No. If
sounds
I
like
did, I wouldn't be on the Greyhound bus." Yes, this is a
sounds like
personal
personal
story.
experience. Yeah.
Never take the Greyhound bus to Newark, New Jersey and get dropped off at 3 a.m. Hookers will come up to you and you'll be very confused. Anyways, Clooney, Pitt in this movie, they look incredible. Um,
They do
Brad
look
Pitt
good. They look
looks
good.
they look. I mean, Tucker, those men are aging incredibly well. It's
Yeah.
directed by John Watts. I would say this movie has no style. That's not a bad thing. John Watts is kind of like Rob Reiner, where they're competent, but I'm never like, classic Reiner. Like I don't watch A Few Good
Yeah,
Men and I'm
no,
like,
no,
look at that directing.
this
Yeah.
movie looks like a streaming movie, but
Hmm.
it's definitely a level up from like your Argyle level.
Yes, yes. And Matthew Vaughn has style. His style is what got in the way of Argyle at least being a competent movie. I can't wait to force my sister to watch that movie and be like, wasn't it really good? And then have her kill herself in front of me. That's gonna be super funny. No, Wolves is just it's fine. It's good. I wouldn't spend money on it unless you have nothing to do. If you have nothing to do, this movie is great. And coming on Apple TV Plus, there are a
Oh,
couple issues with it.
my dad's gonna love this movie.
Oh, Lair
That's
Bear is going to go
perfect.
crazy on this one.
So I have some bad news on the
Okay,
Larry.
hit me with it.
I was really excited to recommend to him Rebel Ridge.
Yeah, absolutely.
He didn't like it.
No!
Yeah.
Wow.
However,
Okay. My faith in him
however,
has been shaken.
however, my number two go-to middle-aged man movie person, my
Hmm.
uncle, Uncle
Yep, love
Cully,
him.
Star Wars of Star Wars fame.
I once marathoned all his movies just out of spite. Not even out
No,
of spite, just wanted to bother Tucker.
you just yeah, Gabe did marathon his movies. Um, Big fan of Rebel Ridge.
Okay,
He was left a little. His only complaint was the ending was a little rushed, which
maybe.
I agree with.
Okay.
I would have liked one more scene to wrap it up with a bow. That
Okay.
was what I felt was missing.
Well, I'm hurt that Larry didn't like it. Did you tell him that
Larry,
Papa liked it? Did you say this was big for Gabe? Because I feel like
I
he needs
said
to go under that magnifying glass.
I said we really enjoyed it. He his Larry's complaint was he felt like Don Johnson kind of phoned it in, which I was really disappointed in.
I mean,
Like,
Larry!
yeah,
Look,
no.
Larry, here's a pair of glasses. Obviously, you
Well,
need these, brother.
and then he was like, "You don't understand, man. That's Sonny Crockett.
I,
I know what that guy's capable of."
does
And
he think that we think Miami Vice is just Colin Farrell and Jamie Foxx, go fast goats and mojitos? I don't, Larry. I know the truth. You know I love him
I
too.
looked for like an hour the other day trying to find a way to watch Miami Vice for free, the show.
Hmm.
It's you have to buy it. It's so
Yeah.
annoying.
Would you care for a link to a pirated site allowing
No,
you to watch it?
I don't want to pirate it.
I like to. I'm like the guy in Captain Phillips. I am the captain now.
Yeah,
I'm a
the
pirate.
you are the pirate.
I'm disappointed in Larry that he didn't like Rebel Ridge. What is his favorite movie again of the year so far?
Um, he
If
did
you tell
really
me,
like he really liked Dune.
of course he did.
I mean, obvious.
He's your father after all.
What did we see this summer? Oh, he loved Bad Boys.
I'm holding a. Is this a curler or a straightener? I don't know. A hair thing. I'm gonna find Larry. Put his finger right here. Chomp, chomp, chomp. If he does not change his mind about Rebel Ridge, he knows that it's important to
Oh,
me.
sorry, Patrick Mahomes was just intercepted.
Cool. I'm
Go
up 30
Falcons.
points in fantasy. The only person my opponent has left to play is Youngwei Koo. But
Okay,
with the coup, I never know if I can actually let down my guard. He
sure.
could score 30 points only through kicking. I don't know. Wolves is fun, and it's Brad Pitt and it's George Clooney. You know what you're coming for. Tucker, how much do you think Brad Pitt and George Clooney were both paid?
Probably like more than half of the budget, which by the way, there is no budget. We don't know how much this movie costs to make.
Yeah, it's Apple TV Plus. They're definitely hiding that information.
Yeah,
$35 million each. Were they worth $35 million?
probably,
No,
probably not. But
probably not. But like,
like Gabe, you're telling me that let's say it's one of those days like over the holidays where
yep.
nobody's really doing anything, there's no sports on, and the family's just like, let's watch something together. This is an ideal film for that. For the older crowd. Obviously
Yes.
it's different for youthful families, but like my this is an ideal movie that I think everybody in my family would be entertained by,
Well, I
but
would have
not.
said that about Rebel Ridge for Larry, and I don't know
But
him
like
anymore.
my mom is not gonna like
Oh,
Rebel.
your mother is going to love this. The
No.
only thing that would make your mom love this more is if Donny Osmond was in it.
Yeah, it's true.
Don,
No,
that's her guy.
it's got Clooney, it's got Brad, it's got Amy Ryan, it's got
Everyone just goes,
the
"Oh, the
guy
lady
that
from The
looks
Office."
the guy that looks like Larry at the end and a nice
Yes,
cameo.
yes, Richard
Richard
Kind.
Kind.
There's also a little bit of a
He,
Frances McDormand cameo.
it's
We're like,
true. Richard
Francis?
Kind in this film basically plays my father, by the way, for everybody wondering.
Cool, 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 cool.
Yeah.
Wolf's my score for it, 6.5 out of 10.
I'm gonna go with the exact same.
Yeah, it's and
And
that's
and
great.
at least 2 points for Wolves goes towards the soundtrack because the soundtrack is a lot of fun and there was
Hmm.
a lot of Sade that I really appreciated.
It did have a lot of Sade. You're right about that.
Like when that came on in the car, I was enjoying that. And it was a nice transition from one of the things that we're talking about a little later that also had some great needle drop moments, a
Yeah,
certain
it did.
television
It did.
episode.
It did. Some live texting from Tucker.
Yeah.
Um, Tucker, the box office for Wolves hasn't been released yet, and you did draft that in fantasy movies.
Honestly, my theater was like
My
shockingly crowded
Yeah,
for an 11.
it was like on the Glass Onion screening. It was
Yeah.
I would say that was relatively the same. Where it's like it's not going to be as much as like a packed night because we're going to see it in a week, but people
No.
who don't want it spoiled. And there isn't much to spoil here. You know how
No,
this is
there
going to end. We had fun though. We had fun, and your parents are going to like this, and it's funny. And also, it apparently was the catalyst for getting Ocean's 14 because they had fun working on it together and said, "You want to make Ocean's 14?" And they said yes. So sweet, I'm down with it.
Yeah.
Next,
So a quick sidebar on that.
yeah.
Do we think that the Ryan Gosling Margot Robbie Oceans prequel is still going to happen?
I'll tell you. I'll tell you what I think. I think yes, it does, but it's in development hell because Margot Robbie is her next picture once because she's pregnant right now or she just had a
Yeah.
baby, whatever that might have
Yeah.
been. She has the most momentum of any actress in Hollywood. Her next picture will be an Academy Awards movie, and she will win the Academy Award for Best Actress. She's
Okay.
not letting anything derail that momentum.
Okay.
Does that feel right to you once I say
Yeah,
that?
yeah, I think that's fair.
No one has more momentum than her.
No.
Honestly,
Maybe
no
Kaylee
disrespect
Cuoco.
to Kaylee Spaney. She's coming, bro, and I'm so happy for her.
No, she's hot. Like
Tucker,
not in the
well,
physical. Well,
she
yes,
is.
in the
She
physical sense, but
is, but
also
also
in the Hollywood sense, like she's if I need a female lead right now, I'm booking Kaylee Spaney.
yes. If you can't get Margot Robbie,
Yes.
Tucker. Now that we're removed from it, should Margot Robbie have just won Best Actress? We gave her the Scumbag Award. Should she just won? Should she just have won Best Actress?
Emma Stone won.
Emma Stone won for Poor Things, and I loved Lily Gladstone. But as I'm thinking about it, Barbie is the movie that I'm like, man, she's pretty good in Barbie.
I think
Are the
Barbie
Scumbag
out
Awards
of
usually
out
better than
of
the
that
Oscars?
out of that bunch of movies, I think the two movies that will still be showing our kids many, many years from now are Barbie and Oppenheimer.
Whoa, some real mutant mayhem erasure. Okay, all
Sorry.
right. Wow. Okay, you sick fuck. I don't care
I
about you
knew I was
erasing
gonna
the
get
plight of
called.
the indigenous people in Killers of the
Yeah,
Flower Moon.
I
But
knew
mutant mayhem? Who the fuck do you think you are?
I
It's
knew it
like
was either
no
gonna be
diggity, dude.
it was either gonna be Mutant Mayhem or Killers of the Flower Moon that I was gonna get called out about. And
Yeah. Always
yeah,
bet on the Ninja Turtles.
yes.
If you liked Mutant Mayhem, I'll tell you what you're gonna like. The next thing we're talking about, Transformers 1. Transformers, robots in disguise. Transformers, more than meets the eye. You love me some Transformers. Listen, Transformers 1, it rocks. It rocks incredibly hard. It's the origin story of Optimus Prime and Megatron and Bumblebee. And you've got Chris Hemsworth as Optimus Prime. You've got Brian Tyree Henry as Megatron. Keegan Michael Key is Bumblebee, and he's not good. He's not a good Bumblebee because Bumblebee is not supposed to talk, and they just he won't stop yapping. I'm also really curious about the Keegan Michael Key career path here. Jordan Peele was like, I'm gonna be an auteur director. I'm gonna make Get Out and Us and Nope. And Keegan Michael Key was like, I'm gonna be Toad from Super Mario Brothers. And we are all like, whoa, okay, Keegan. And all Keegan Michael Key does to promote movies now is he goes on sports podcasts and sports shows, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna now pronounce new athletes as the substitute teacher person. And he's like, Jared G off, you better be here right now, Gerard. And you're like, okay, this is fine. Um, so look, does this movie take some creative liberties with the Transformers mythos? Yes, it does. If you read the Transformers comics, you're going to be like, this makes no sense. If you haven't, which is most people, because most people have lives and get bitches, you're going to be like, oh, okay, this is just a normal Transformers story. Um, this movie does actually take a turn to be a pretty sad betrayal of a movie, and when Optimus Prime is betrayed by Megatron, this is not a spoiler because everyone knows they hate each other. You're, it's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, it is pretty cool. Scarlett Johansson is in this movie as Alita One. Sure, whatever. Yes, Tucker, you look like you have something you want to say.
Is it like Steve Ballmer when the Clippers traded for Kawhi Leonard and Paul George and he's like, pretty cool, man.
Pretty
Pretty
cool, man.
cool.
Pretty cool. Yes, kind of. It was more like Aaron Rodgers when the Packers drafted Jordan Love and they interviewed him the next day and he was like, I feel like I could play for 12 more years. I've been doing yoga and pouring hot oil down my asshole, and it's keeping me limber, baby. And we're all like, are you sure about that, Aaron? And now he's like, I spent a year in darkness. I'm Ray Charles. That joke wasn't appropriate. I shouldn't have said that. Listen, Transformers 1. Here's what do you like when robots in the midair transform into vehicles and then guns pop out of those vehicles and they shoot each other? Yes, then you will love this movie. If not, you're not going to. The animation is actually very good, very crisp. There's some moments of like actual beautiful color exploding, and it's not like Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse where it's like the animation here is going to change the industry, but it's really well done. I liked it a little bit less than Mutant Mayhem. That might be because I like Transformers a little bit less than I like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But you know, Steve Buscemi plays Starscream in this movie. The Boosh is going crazy as to Starscream. Lawrence Fishburne is Alpha Trion. Tucker, I think Lawrence Fishburne might be in this movie 3.5 minutes. John Hamm is Sentinel Prime. He's pretty cool. Only thing this movie could have used is if the end would have happened and Linkin Park kicked in. That would have been the perfect like
What I've done.
that song is incredible. Tucker, did you ever have a Linkin Park phase?
No, not really. I
Oh,
mean, I like Linkin Park, but I just have never really gotten into it.
if
To the
you
point.
are a guy from the Midwest who never had a rock rap phase, I need to know what's going on with you. Do you have a favorite Linkin Park song now?
Um, Definitely the Transformers one.
What I've done? Okay, you give me Numb vibes. Like I can see
Yeah,
you jamming out to Numb. It
like the
starts with one thing. I don't know why. Like I'm sorry, you give Numb vibes.
yeah.
Um,
I mean that opening in Miami
Crawling
Vice
is
is
pretty good.
that opening in Miami Vice is fucking sick.
Dude, thank you. You're so. I mean, just the Jay-Z Linkin Park collaboration, insane. When I saw that Linkin Park was doing a world tour, I got so excited because I'm pretty close to Chicago now. I'm like, great, if they come to Chicago, I can go see it. They're playing 8 cities, and only 4 of them are in America. And it's like Dallas, Los Angeles, San Francisco. And I'm like, that's not a world tour. That's 3 states. So Lincoln Park, I'm sorry, I wish you would do better. But Transformers 1 rocks. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. Tucker hasn't seen it yet. And to that, I would say, if you want to wait for this to come to Paramount Plus, you're totally fine. Because you know what happens in this movie. Everyone knows what happens in this movie. Optimus Prime, Megatron
Whoa, bro.
don't like each other. There
I don't
is
know
this
that.
There's this weird thing happening on Twitter where everyone's like, these two were lovers. They were very obviously spurned lovers. And I'm like, maybe not. I don't know how that would work with Transformers, where it's like a gun
How
pops
do
out, but instead it's
Transformers? How
how
do
do
Transformers
Transformers replicate? I don't know. I'll tell you,
procreate?
when a man loves another man very
Mhm.
much, they
Are
get
there female?
together.
Yeah, there are female
There's
Transformers.
female Transformers. They put on a little Sade, throw some rose petals down, and then Bumblebee is like, I've got you. Let me set the mood. And he starts playing Pony by Genuine. And then
It's
Megatron gets oiled up. Here's what I'm saying. Transformers 1, I got down with it. It is so far my 10th favorite movie of the year. I'm sorry,
Coast to
Beetlejuice,
coast,
Beetlejuice.
LA to Chicago.
Thank you.
Coast
Tucker's.
to
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you for gracing us with that. We're gonna need a full cover on the YouTube. This is so far my 10th favorite movie of the year. However, everything good is coming out at the end of this year. And if Gladiator 2 has what Tucker described at the beginning of this episode, I am going to walk out of it in handcuffs, just like the guy who left Love Lies Bleeding in Detroit. So yeah, Tucker, the Old Man, is a show that might have explicitly just been made for us. Like, and honestly,
Yeah.
they might have just cracked open our cabezas, looked at that gray matter, and said, these guys will watch whatever we give them if it's in this format. Give us what happened in season 1, real quick, and I can jump in if you need me to.
Okay, spoiler
And
warning. If
yeah,
you haven't
spoiler warning
watched
for season 1.
season one of The Old Man, Jeff Bridges plays Johnny or Dan Chase, or he has multiple names, but he was a CIA special operations guy who was in Afghanistan during the Soviet-Afghan War and had a handler who in his older age is played by John Lithgow. And they had forged an alliance with a Mujahideen leader who was resisting the Russian oppression of Afghanistan. Jeff Bridges starts to like his wife. His wife learns some information, needs to get away from her husband as soon as possible. Jeff Bridges and the wife flee the husband, steal his daughter. Jeff Bridges raises her as his own. She doesn't know who her real father is. Years later, Afghan man wants to kill Jeff Bridges. He's a successful opium dealer. He's also got some mining reserves. He's loaded and he has the resources to do so. He somehow convinces the CIA and the FBI to go get Jeff Bridges. Jeff Bridges says, no, 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 you're not getting me. I'm going to get you first. So he goes on the run, meets a lady on the run. They're on the run. John Lithgow is hunting him, but he's now also implicated in it because some bad things are going to come out about him and his former boss. It's not good for John Lithgow. The daughter works for John Lithgow, not good. So she's Jeff Bridges' inside woman, if that makes sense. They have to go to Europe. Jeff Bridges is worried now that his daughter is in too deep. So he follows her to Europe to go get her. He's worried about her. She gets kidnapped by her biological father, Faraz Hamzad, the Afghani Mujahideen gentleman. And that's kind of where we're at the beginning of season 2. Obviously missed some spots there in that review, but that's kind of where we pick up.
You need to know that Jeff Bridges, pardon me, in this has the best dogs ever.
Yes.
Dogs that they are even better than Halle Berry's dogs in John Wick 3.
He gives
They
them commands in German to chew people's balls off.
which Tucker has actually been teaching me to do,
Yeah.
using a donut on a stick. Thank you for
Hans.
that, Tucker. There's no balls around here. No scrotes to grab. But I would if I could, don't worry. Season 2, is it better than season 1? I don't
I think
know.
it's I think it builds on the momentum. I mean, we're 3 episodes in, and I feel like I have not stopped being focused on it, which
Yes.
a good sign. Um, I think it builds on the momentum of season 1 very well because we kind of just dive in, whereas the first season is very much a slow burn. and kind of more mystery, whereas this season is balls to the wall action from how I viewed it. Because there's we're going as soon as the first episode starts, we're going. And it's really fun to see Lithgow, who's kind of the more analytical, nerdy
He doesn't really
FBI
get to be in any of
guy.
the action scenes. And in
No,
season
no.
two, he's
Season
like,
two,
"Yeah, I got a gun."
and he's like, he has no choice. He's in the poo now.
Yeah.
So
So basically, basic plots idea of season two is the actions of season one. We thought we cleared things up. By the end of season two, episode one, someone has been shot, and we're like, oh no, oh, this is not good. And now they have to get out of Afghanistan, right, Tucker?
yes, correct.
Yes.
See, I would
Um,
say episode two was some of the
the
best.
weakest. I thought it was the weakest of the three.
Oh, no, I think it was some of the best storytelling the show has.
Absolutely, sure,
I think
for
I
sure.
think out of the three, I think all three episodes have been exceptional. I would say it's definitely the weakest, but I
Yes,
think it explain like the show wouldn't work without that episode
absolutely. You're
because
100% correct.
it basically sets up the plot for the entire rest of the show.
And it's just been awesome so far.
Yeah.
And you and we are loving it because of course we are. I will say, is it a little bit of like also maybe kind of an airplane show? Yes,
No,
it's a little, I think it's a little better than that,
I
but
think
it
it's
feeds
much
my
better.
base instincts in the way an airplane show does.
I think it's much better than an airplane show, respectfully.
Okay, and that's complete. Also, I'm not opposed to an airplane show.
I
It's just
think
I don't know. It's like Da Vinci Code, where it's like it
well
knows
here
what I want and
okay,
it
okay,
continues
okay.
to give it to
Hold
me.
on. Pause. I think an airplane show is very different than an airplane movie. Is that fair? Gabe has disappeared. He's back.
It
He's back.
I would say that is fair to say.
Okay.
I thought you were gonna talk longer, so I went to
No,
plug in
no,
my
I'll
phone.
t- I'll talk longer. Sorry, I didn't see you get up.
No, it's okay. I'm sneaky. I'm stealthy. What can I say?
You're stealthy.
You were kind of looking at my ass there for a second, and I'm sorry. I didn't mean to flash you like that. Didn't
Okay.
realize my pants had fallen down a little bit. That'll be a little treat for those who are watching the YouTube. And if you're listening to this on Spotify, free eye candy. That's all I'm going to say. Go to the
Yeah.
YouTube. It'll be in the description. The Old Man, I will say this. Do you like a little bit of violence? Do you like Jeff Bridges getting great, like almost kill lines? Do you like John Lithgow? And are you okay with pushing away a little bit of like, would that actually happen? If you're good with those, you will love The Old Man. I'm good
Yeah,
with those.
if
Tucker's
you're
good with
worried
those.
about if you're worried about realism in a show where Jeff Bridges is a retired CIA assassin who's forced to come out of retirement, let's just reassess your life.
And I've assessed my life, and it has lots of room for The Old Man. You could end this season after episode three almost. Like if it was a mini season, it would be okay.
Yeah.
Where are they going, Tucker? What's going to come next, in your opinion? Where's the next
So
plot development?
let's pump the brakes on the spoilers for everybody. If you haven't caught up so far, stop listening. Um, so very different. I was not expecting the Taliban contingent to die that quickly, but here we are. They're very dead. I think what's going to happen is there's still a major problem with Morgan Boat and the CIA kind of we need to learn more about their relationship
Yeah, Boat
with
has frozen their assets, right? Isn't that
yeah.
the big development we
So
get?
so I think what's going to happen is the daughter now has all the leverage because the Taliban is basically out of the picture because I think that was kind of a rogue
And
contingent of
good. Tucker and I don't want the Taliban in the picture. You can
no.
quote us on that. We
No,
this
because
this is an anti-Taliban podcast. I just want to come out and say it in case we haven't said it before.
I
We are
honestly
not cool with
thought
the Taliban.
I thought what was going to happen was Hamzad would be dead. The daughter, Emily, would have to stay in Afghanistan to basically take over for him. And that could still happen. but I thought she was going to be the one navigating the dispute with the Taliban. I think the dispute with the Taliban is dealt with. I think now the problem is we got the CIA not super pumped about Hamzat being a middleman and teaming up with the guys who they wanted to be dead.
Harper and Hill,
You,
and those
yes,
those guys are cooking.
yes. I really am excited to see if Julian Carson comes back, who was the hitman from the first season, played by
Hmm.
a guy from The Wire. I forget what his name. He has a very hard to pronounce name that I can't remember what it is. But I think he's very much still in the picture. I also think Amy Brenneman's character should be back in the next episode. And
Every
I
time I
think,
see Amy Brenneman, I'm like, yes, Heat Lady. That's all
yeah,
she is. She's Heat Lady.
yeah,
I'm sorry, that's who she is. Do you work in metals? No, he
no,
doesn't work in metals. He's a thief.
MILF.
Yeah, well, of course. MILF and Southern accent. That woo. Hello, ma'am.
Um,
I'm in love with her. John Watts directing this show, and he does a pretty good job. Um, I think the thing that I like most about this show is there's a very consistent way issues are handled. You turn people's chests to Swiss cheese.
yeah.
That's how you handle it, just like Michael Mann's Black Hat. The most confusing thing about this show is the way episodes are labeled. Oh my god, it's just Roman numerals. So
Hmm.
it's like 8 VII, and
Are
it
you
makes
having
me stop.
trouble with the numerals?
No, I understand them, but it's like IX, and you're like 9 or 11. It's a little confusing for me. I'm a little stupid. Old Man, for the first 3 episodes of season 2, I'll give it a. It's okay. I'm gonna give it an 8, but it's a complete. It's not gonna make my rating of the Penguin make sense. It's a different type of show than the Penguin.
Yes.
Now, my
I
rating for the Penguin is higher than an 8, but I don't want to say like, oh, it's close in quality to the Penguin because it kind of isn't. That's why I kind of call it like an airport TV show. I don't know how to make sense. This
I
isn't
think the
necessarily prestige TV. I
I
don't know.
dis
I don't know. I
I
don't know how
disagree.
to make this make sense. I'm gonna
I
dig
think if
myself into a
you
hole.
I think if you describe Homeland as prestige TV, which I do, then The Old Man is prestige TV.
This is dad TV,
Yeah,
and
no,
that's
it's absolutely but there's dad TV that's prestige, in my opinion.
maybe. I really like the show. Let me just say that I really like the old man.
Like Gabe, 24 is dad TV that is
Yeah, that's
prestige.
true. You're right. I don't want to imply at all that I don't like the old man. I'm
The other
giving the
thing,
old man
the
an
other
8 out
thing,
of 10, but it's like a different 8 out of 10 than I would give something like what is an 8 out of 10 show for me? Um Homicide Life on the Street is an 8 out of 10 show for me. It's a different 8 out of 10 than I would give the old man. Does that make
I
sense?
think
I'm just
TV is more subjective. I
yeah,
think that's fair. And for me, it's an 8.5 out of 10 for the old man so far. I think it's been excellent. This season, I'm really looking forward to seeing where it's going.
yeah.
Um,
A better thing to say would have been if I said, and the 8 out of 10 that I give the old man is different than my 8 out of 10 for Transformers 1. Those are two different 8 out of 10s. I don't know how
yeah,
to like, you get what
I
I'm saying.
think Gabe, you have IGN on your brain, and you're worried that people are judging are out of tens like they judge IGNs. Don't worry, Gabe.
That's true. That's true. I'm not under much scrutiny on this show, except for my Ray Charles joke. That was in poor taste, but it was also pretty funny. The Penguin is excellent, incredible, fantastic programming. It rocks. It just rocks an incredibly hard amount. Um, I did not realize it was a horror show though, which was weird. I was expecting Soprano set in the DC universe, and then jump scare, naked penguin. I went, ah, no,
I was like,
no.
where's he going with this? And then
Yeah, that was terrifying. I
yeah,
didn't.
did you hear Colin Farrell actually wore a prosthetic penis for that scene?
Yes, Tucker, do you not remember when Colin Farrell's sex scene leaked? He had a sex tape that got leaked.
Oh,
Don't look excited. You just wow, buddy. I would reassess the look you just made. You went, huh? Tucker's gonna
it
do
was
some
a,
investigating later
it was
tonight.
a look of curiosity,
Yeah,
not
I
excitement.
I believe it. we will be ending the Zoom quickly once we're done recording. Um, the show rocked so hard. That was good television.
There's not much I can even say because I mean, you know how long I've
Should I
been.
just read them the texts you sent, Tucker? Do you think that's a good
Yeah,
idea?
you
Let me
can.
get them pulled up.
Okay. And
Because
I'll go into detail a little bit.
absolutely you
Basically,
will.
show picks up right where we left off, literally right where we left off with the Batman. City's underwater. There's a cool,
Sorry, my phone plays a noise whenever it gets plugged in.
nice. There's a cool kind of news segment that that kind of catches people up that maybe weren't as familiar with the lore of the universe and stuff, which I thought was cool because that I feel like that made it a little more accessible. Obviously, like the show is for the audience of the Batman, but I think there's a window of opportunity for people that maybe don't or that didn't watch the movie to enjoy the show just because it's somewhat separated, I would say. And I think there's a world where this is isolated from the movies. Like it can
Yeah,
live on its own.
yes, the big plot event of the movie that affects this show, you are shown at the beginning of the
That's what I
show.
mean. That's what I
Yeah.
mean. That's
So
what
so here are
I
Tucker's text messages.
okay.
Thursday, 8:58 p.m. Game time. God, this Dune show is gonna stink. He sends a penguin gif. He goes, "Oh my God, Giacchino score." I had sent him multiple memes. He did not respond to any of them. He was locked in. All caps. I earned this, Gabe. I sent another meme. Did not respond to that. The city is flooded, Gabriel. Oh my God, this is incredible. An hour later, me when 1987's The Promise appeared in the premiere episode of my new Elite miniseries, The Penguin, and it is Tom Cruise 5 starring something on Letterboxd in an incredible video. At a certain point, I just gave Tucker space to let him have an emotional moment. I would describe the energy he was giving off is the meme where the person sits forward and they're like, "Now you have my attention."
Would you like
Um,
to know the exact moment that I actually because I do that, especially in the movies, and if a TV show gets me to do it, I'm really locked in.
Yeah, I do a reverse version of that. Like in The Northman, when he tastes her blood and can taste his
Yeah.
own semen in it. That's when I did the reverse sitting. I gotta go into my chair. So you tell me what made you sit forward and go, you have my attention.
When he told the story about Rex Calabrese and then the guy started shitting on him. I leaned forward because I knew it was coming. I knew because Alberto Falcone was not in any of the trailers. I mean, I knew he would be a character because it wouldn't really make sense, but I knew it was coming and just bang, 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 just smoked him, and I'm like, okay, I'm here. And then we got the title card, and then we got him like throwing the body down the stairs of the nightclub. Awesome. Just
Scaring off the children, by the way, which is a great way. If children are doing something and you want them to stop, throw a dead body at them. That's all I want to say. Like
yeah, yeah.
what
I
I'm gonna
agree.
do when kids are trick or treating this year, if people are taking more than one piece of candy, kill someone, toss it at them, be like, "Welcome to Halloween, bitches." That's I just think a good way to intimidate them. So, basic plot of this episode: Carmine Falcone dead,
Dead.
Gotham flooded, much agua, and there's a power vacuum, and 2 people want to fill it. Oz Cobb. People were upset that they changed his name from
I thought it was
Oswald
good.
Cobblepot
I
to
thought it was
Oz
good.
Cobb. I just don't care. It
It's
doesn't
also
matter to me. The Penguin, it's not the Penguin is not Oswald Cobblepot. The Penguin is the Penguin. Does that make sense? Like that's not what makes or breaks the character. But there's someone else who wants control of Gotham, played by Christine Melody from
well
who I loved. So
also
go ahead.
Michael Kelly playing
That's
Johnny V.
true. True.
Johnny V underrated comics character, like plays a fairly significant role in many of the Batman comics.
That is true. Sophia Falcone, played by Kristen Melody. Is it Melody? Melody? How do we say that?
I'm gonna say Melody.
Okay, well, I first knew her as the mother from How I Met Your Mother in
Okay.
just a heartbreaking ending. Um, I think a lot of people know her from Wolf of Wall
Kind
Street,
of like the
or
worst TV ending ever.
that's one of my favorite shows, and it makes me so upset what ends up happening. But she's in a very good time loop rom-com with Andy Samberg called Palm Springs that came out like right at the beginning of COVID,
Yeah,
like
that's a
4 weeks in, when we kind of all felt like we were in that loop of like doing the same thing every day. And
really
so
good
that was
flick.
perfect timing. That is a really good flick. Mayhaps my streaming recommendation now that I thought about it. And she is insane. This woman is fucking crazy, and it rocks so hard.
She's
And
got
we know
she's got good psycho eyes.
she's got really crazy eyes.
Yeah.
I am scared
She's
how
got those
attracted I am to her.
she's got
That like
those Ella Purnell eyes.
she does have Ella Purnell eyes, but I find her extremely attractive. And
Yeah, she's attractive.
it's like, is it because she's crazy? Did, maybe I just want to be alive. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Um, Here's the best thing I could say for this show. First off, I don't want to say I didn't care about the Penguin, but I was like, I watched the Batman for Batman. I went back and rewatched Batman, and I'm like, man, shout out the Penguin. This is great. Um, which is just so good. Uh, it also makes you care about the supporting characters. Victor
Yes.
is in this show. Um, Tucker, how would you describe Victor?
Victor is the ultimate wrong place, right time
Yeah,
character.
he's one of those kids scared off when Oswald Cobblepot throws the dead body of Alberto Falcone.
And then starts shooting at them because they're trying to steal his hubcaps
Yeah, do not take the Penguin's hubcaps. You will lose a kneecap, buddy.
of his purple Maserati, by the way.
Yeah, it's just an incredible car. I'm
Yes,
glad it was not a purple Lamborghini because that would have been a way too on the nose Suicide Squad joke.
Victor
That
would have.
song is also aggressively bad.
Yeah.
And this Victor character just excellent. Like it's just one of those
Really?
characters you want to high five. Played by Renzi Feliz, who was in Runaways, which was that Hulu Marvel show about those characters like Nico Minoru that a lot of people don't know. And then he played Camilo Madrigal in Encanto, and I think that's the kid who can talk to animals. I'm not a huge Encanto fan, but I remember there being a kid who could talk to animals.
I thought you were in Encanto.
No, I'm white,
Mm,
so I wouldn't be very popular in the Encanto world.
okay.
Um, and also I think I find Lin-Manuel Miranda pretty annoying. So yeah, if
Hot
he was like,
takes.
is that hot of a take?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay. I was like,
I'm kind
there
of
was a time when LMM was on top of the world, and now I'm
it
like,
was.
brother, you are cheesy as hell.
Yep, I would agree. I would
But
agree.
I do bump
Um,
Hamilton.
yeah, I mean it was one of the better premieres I've watched in a long time of a TV show, and it kind of had everything I wanted. It wasn't overly dependent on the movie, which is I think awesome. Um, Gabe Samuel L. Jackson is at the Falcons game wearing a what appears to be a Drake London jersey.
That's
Uh,
incredible. He's about to win an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. So
Okay.
this is the start of the campaign. I want to kiss Samuel L. Jackson on his forehead, but I just
Okay.
don't know what I always wonder about him is where does the forehead end and the head begin? That's
Hmm.
what I don't understand. Where it's like,
Track the wrinkles.
what am I gonna do? Like start picking it up and going, okay, where does it start getting pliable? I don't want to do that. Yeah, I don't feel like you wouldn't like that. I think you'd be okay with me kissing him, but like feeling his head, don't think you'd be cool with it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Gabe, you covered a lot of what I was going to cover. It's just a tight, it was a tight premiere, which I really appreciated, and I was glad to see that um Craig Zobel, who I works pretty closely with or Zobel, maybe I can't remember if it's Zobel or Zobel, who works pretty closely with Matt Reeves on other stuff, um, was the director,
Yeah.
and I think there's there's some good directors that are working on this. I think he's doing the first 3 episodes.
And he
My
did the best episode of Westworld. So,
Yes, my guess is Matt Reeves directs 1 episode, and we just didn't know. That's I bet
um,
I bet he pops in for one.
it's possible. I hope so.
I bet
There's
it's
three,
I bet he
a lot
directs
of
one.
TBAs.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. I bet he directs the finale. I bet John Watts does one, and then I don't know who will do kind of the middle. I
Was
just
John Watts involved in the Batman at all?
No, but he is involved in this show, I think. Or no, 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 no,
Oh,
no.
interesting.
What am I talking about? He's involved in the Old Man.
Yes,
That
that's what I was confused about.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I will say maybe one of the best things I could give them credit for. I'll give them two things. One, the Giacchino score is by Mick Giacchino, not Michael Giacchino,
True.
and made a great name for himself. Used some of his dad's motifs, while also it felt different than the Batman theme. But they
Did feel
also
different.
did use the Batman theme at one point very subtly to kind of bring you into the world. And then they did the Penguin theme, which I thought was good. And the other thing I really like is this feels like it was directed. The cinematography feels like it was done by Greg Fraser, while
Yeah.
also having some things that are completely different than him. So it
Yes.
feels unique but not jarring.
It
That is one of the
felt
best things I could give it credit
felt like
for.
the same. Like obviously with a TV show, you can't have the same scale that the film does, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So it felt like you know, it was accomplishing different things. It was a very well shot character study cinematography, if that makes sense. Like I felt because his face is so striking that you want to look at it. Like I don't really care about the scene, like the setting. I'd rather look at him and like get his acting than worry about the big set pieces, which I think is what is so cool about kind of the tone that Matt Reeves set, which was very different than like Christopher Nolan's Batman, because that world is so dependent on the big set pieces, which are done probably better than any other movie ever. But
Well, that's just not true. But the wait, hold on, wait. Let me. Are you talking about the Dark Knight or are you talking about the Batman?
The Dark Knight.
Oh, never mind. I thought you were talking about the Batman, and I was like, buddy, I like the Batman a lot, but I wouldn't say.
No, I'm saying the
Okay,
Dark
yes,
Knight
yes,
is
yes, yes.
more
I'm picking up
dependent
what you're.
on its set pieces, which are better than
Yes,
basically.
it's like Top Gun Maverick and The Dark Knight are like the
Yeah.
two ultimate like set piece movies where I'm just like I'm
Yes.
locked in. I'm
Yes.
completely locked in. I agree
Okay.
with you.
No,
Um,
I'm saying where the Batman excels is in its character
and it's
cinematography.
ambiance. It beats every Batman movie in ambiance by
Yes.
a mile.
That's what I
Um,
that's what I meant. And I think the show is doing the same thing in a slightly different way.
yeah. Tucker, here's my I guess maybe my last question for you in regards to the Penguin. Is this a limited series? Is
Yeah.
this you think
Yeah.
so? So you
Yeah.
think it'll all be wrapped up?
Yes, I do. I think it's gonna end with either him dying because he doesn't want to put the suit on anymore.
That's the thing I don't know. He really seems in doing promo for this character, he's like, this was an incredible role, but I'm so sick of this. Which is fair. This is like a lot to
My
do.
guess is my guess is he probably skips a movie.
Okay.
I think what we're gonna learn over the course of this show is what the first movie dealt with is so surface level, which is what I think. I mean, Matt Reeves kind of spoiled it. Is it's like the second movie, Batman's just gonna learn how much worse Gotham is than he actually thought,
There
and
will
I
be a literal darkest night before the
yes,
dawn.
yes, and I think this show is going to show just how surface level what he dealt with in the first movie is, and sort of act as that definition, and then we're going to have to go even deeper in.
So apparently, no clue if this is true. According to Wikipedia, in September 2024, Matt Reeves announced that Colin Farrell would reprise his role as the Penguin in the Batman Part 2.
Yeah. That I mean, I could see him. I could absolutely see him getting convinced to come back in a lesser extent than he's in the first movie and also in this show.
Yeah. If I had to make a guess, so Tucker and I feel like we can say what we think the show is going to do. This is a prediction. We haven't seen anything. The Court of Owls is a shadowy cabal in Batman mythos who are constantly pulling the strings of Gotham. And I think both Tucker and I suspect that that's the ultimate end goal here. I think the show will end with them being introduced, not necessarily explaining who they are. And then I think the Batman Part 2 is going to deal with Bruce Wayne unpacking the fact that maybe his family was part of it. Maybe it's why Thomas and Martha Wayne gained so much money. Who knows? Um, but ultimately, I'm having a lot of fun with this show, and also what it is doing so well is feeling essential, but not in an MCU way where it's like I have to watch this to understand the rest of the Batman Part 2 or the Batman 47. It feels essential because it is high quality programming with great directing, great action, and great acting.
Yeah, I would agree with everything you said, and I'm very excited to go forward.
What score would you give the not the Batman, the Penguin?
I would say
Episode 1, because that's all
the
we can talk about.
premiere was a 9 out of 10 for me.
I'm gonna give it a 9.5. To me, that is everything I need in a pilot. Make us care about the character, what's the
It's
goal,
only
and who's the opposition.
I just don't I don't want to go higher than a 9 for the premiere because I want to leave room for growth.
I
I don't want you to throw me your fastball in your premiere episode.
Yeah, don't be Charlie Morton, okay? Like I need a man, who do I need? I need a Devin Williams type show. Throw the curve, you know what I'm saying? Be Freddie Peralta. You've got some moves here. Tucker, this has been incredible catching up a lot of things with you. I think for me, my streaming rec actually is going to be Palm Springs. You can find it on Hulu or Disney Plus because those are the same thing now. Andy Samberg, Christine Melody, time loop rom com. It's tight and very well done. And it's
Gabe's
just a
life,
really enjoyable show.
Gabe, Gabe Gabe's and my lives are time loop rom-coms.
We really are. In every world we find each other, buddy. What
Yep.
would be your streaming rec?
My streaming rec this week is going to be
The Penguin, season 1, episode 1, or just episode 1?
honestly, no, actually. It's on Tubi, so I can use it as a streaming rec, even though I watched it on MGM Plus the other day.
Okay.
The Great Escape.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Watch it with your dad. You'll be humming. Da, 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 da,
McQueen
da,
goes so
da,
hard in that movie.
it's like it's so good. I had forgotten. I hadn't seen it in a really long time from start to finish. It's so clever and just well made and doesn't feel like a 3 hour movie, which is such a win for a movie that came out in 1963.
Yeah, yeah. I
It's
do this thing on Letterboxd called the Golden Gabriels, where I give out the best picture every year, and I've done it since 1960.
mm,
And The Great Escape wins in 1962, the year it came out. I just think that movie is superb. The one thing I will say, after Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where they do the scene with Leo inserted in to
Rick,
be the Steve McQueen role,
his name's Rick fucking Dalton.
yeah, Rick Dalton. Every time I watch that, I'm like, oh, I kind of wish DiCaprio was in this movie. Like I'm just like, man, he'd be good in it. Like, and I
That's a
also think
movie. Okay. There's two World War II movies that I think you could absolutely remake if you made sure the casts were as good, because I think they would be awesome just from a technical standpoint. And I'm not a remake guy in general. Like I'm not going to advocate for them unless
no,
I
you
think
are very anti Magnificent Seven remake. You will
either
not jive
right
with me on that
because
one.
that was a movie that it just didn't need to be remade
But
because
they didn't. It was fucking awesome.
that but it's like there's not that much exciting you could do with the action of the original. Whereas
Oh,
these
but they do it. They do. Sorry, go ahead.
the Dirty Dozen
Absolutely.
you could remake and it would be incredible.
Just don't make it the Expendables. That's all I ask.
Imagine Bernthal in the remake of the Dirty Dozen.
Shake my fucking hand. Come on, get up in here.
No, that's
Get
what I
up.
mean.
Yeah.
And then the Great Escape, I think you
Yes.
could
And there's the other Steve McQueen movie. I need my Bullet remake. Steven Spielberg has been like, yeah, I'm
No,
remaking Bullet.
please
Tucker,
don't remake
you
Bullet.
there Bullet is primed to be remade.
There's too much traffic in San Francisco, Gabe. They're never remaking Bullet.
Oh, really? Okay, what about The Rock then? What if we make The Rock? And it's
The Rock, we don't. The Rock is still great. We don't
it
need
is
to
it is
too
okay, what
soon.
about The Rock 2, where Stanley Goodman has been on meth for the last 30 years.
Yeah,
He's like, I'm
okay.
Nicolas Cage.
But
I
but
was gonna make Renfield 2.
but
And I'm like,
Sean is.
no.
But we don't have James Bond anymore.
I know we don't. So who could in The Rock 2, who could be our suave character? James McAvoy? He's not
What if
doing
it's just
anything with his career
what if
right
it's
now.
just Daniel Craig? We just recycle Bond people.
Brosnan!
Yeah,
Dude, he's not doing anything. That'd
he's
be
not.
awesome. He really isn't. And they were like, oh, he's gonna be Dr. Fate. Killed him off. Anyways, Tucker, what it's time to do is kill off this episode. So, Tucker, thanks for breaking down stuff with me. Please make sure you check out Transformers when as soon as it goes to streaming. I will send you a text at 12:01 the day it comes to streaming. So don't worry, I will remind you. Audience, thank you for listening to another episode. We'll see you next time on Serious Cinema for Unserious Men.